Take It Slow Homestead. Today I'm going to start some seeds, but I want to first show you the soil. The problem with this soil was that when I got it out of the bag, it was so full of little sticks and pieces of wood and rocks and things like that. So I took this colander and sifted through this with the colander. This is what I ended up with. It's much better, but you know, the sad thing is my garbage can is full of all of those pieces of wood. There was a lot. There was a lot of wood in it. So I'm going to use this, see how it does with starting some pepper seeds. And I'm also going to start one bean seed. And the reason why I'm doing the peppers and beans is because recently I taught a class of young girls and showed them how to plant seeds and how long it takes for them to germinate. For example, pepper seeds take anywhere from 10 to 21 days to germinate. So it could be 3 weeks before you see anything growing out of the soil. On the other hand, the beans that I had them plant, they're just bush beans. I think they were called, I'll tell you what they were called. Landreth. They're dark, but the beans themselves, when they grow, they're green, but the seeds on the inside are dark. They're kind of brownish. And the peppers are California Wonder sweet peppers. It shows some red, some green. If you're able to leave them on the vine long enough, they will ripen into red. Otherwise, you can use them as sweet green peppers. I'm going to get this out of the way. I still have one more small bag of that very challenging potting soil to sift through. I think I will actually borrow my son's sifter that he has. It's made with hardware cloth, and it's a really good sifter, and it won't make it as fine as I ended up with here. I'm sure I'll still have some of the wood pieces in it, but I think I will use his sifter instead of this. This took forever. So I'm going to put this back in my big pail, but I think I'll leave it in this container because it'll just be easier to work with. Here's a 6-pack that I'm going to use for the peppers. So first thing I'm going to do is fill those cubicles up about halfway. And then I'm going to pack it down. I saw this on a YouTube video. I can't think of the guy's name right now, but the channel is called Grow Veg. I think that's it, Grow Veg. And this is what he did. He filled them halfway full and then he packed it down. Not super hard, but he packed it down. And then he filled them the rest of the way up with the potting soil. Now, I don't know if he used potting soil or seed starting soil because you can use either one. If you use potting soil, there are some nutrients in it. All right, so then he just packed it down slightly, not very hard the second time. Now for the pepper seeds, They need to be planted 1/4 inch deep. So I have a little popsicle stick here, and I'm going to just make a little hole 1/4 of an inch deep. Okay. Pepper seeds are quite small. And they kind of remind me of tomato seeds. I'm just going to put one in each hole. Sometimes people will put more than one in their pots. Even in the same hole, they'll put more than one. But then when they all germinate, they come back in and get over there, little seed. And then they thin them out, you know, either cut off the extra ones or pull them out. Usually just cut them off. So I am just putting one in each cell. And in this little container, it's a yogurt container, I made some holes in the bottom for drainage. And I'm going to do the same thing, which is fill it up about half full, press it down, fill it up the rest of the way, and put one bean in it. These are the beans that I'm using. This is what color they are. And I'm going to, first of all, get my stick and make a hole 1 inch deep. If you're not sure how deep to plant your seeds, I'm going to scoot the dirt over the top of that, press lightly. If you don't know how deep to plant them, just look on the back of your seed packets and it will tell you all the instructions that you need. Same thing for the peppers, same thing for all the seeds. They come with instructions. Now for the peppers, since I haven't covered them up yet, you can do it a couple of different ways. You can just take the dirt from around the sides, gently cover the seed, or you can take more soil, gently cover the seeds. I know another YouTuber who just uses, let's see, what's that stuff called? You know, that white stuff. Okay, I just gently patted them down. Yeah, I'll think of it. It's that white styrofoam stuff. I'm going to give these guys a drink of water. Perlite, it's called perlite. I know a guy that uses perlite. After he plants his seeds, he doesn't put them in the dirt. He just covers his pots, fills them with soil, and then he puts the seed on top of the soil, and then he puts perlite over the top of that. Just covers the whole top with perlite. And then he waters them. And he has really good success with that. I've never tried that yet, but I think I will. I'm just going to squirt each one of these cubicles with about 8 squirts from this sprayer. That should give the seeds enough water to start to germinate. But I'll keep my eye on them. If the soil on the top starts looking dry, I'll give them another 2 or 3 squirts. I'm going to put more in here for this bean. However, I did start out with semi-moist soil. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is, oh, careful. I'm going to see if I have enough soil for one more 6-pack. Here's another 6-pack. They're actually quite large 6-packs. You can tell by comparing it to my hand. Yeah, they're not super skinny, okay? They hold quite a bit of soil. So first I'm going to fill them halfway full, the cubicles. And I'm quickly going to run out of soil. Yeah, it didn't even fill them up half full. So I'll take a little walk next door to where my son lives, and I will ask him if I can please borrow his strainer. Here I go. There it is. All right, now the soil. This won't be as fine as what I sifted before because the strainer has way larger holes. Here's what I got out of those couple handfuls. So I dumped that debris in the garbage can. I brought the garbage can a little bit closer. I wish that I had a strainer with hardware cloth that was about 1/8 of an inch. I think this is 1/4. Oh boy, look at that. That's a rock. Not good. Yeah, I sure wish I had a finer sifter that would help more, because a lot of these sticks like this, they're going right through. I think some of this stuff would be good to put in your compost pile because it will eventually break down, but look at all that. In these small pots here, it's not going to help. It's not going to break down. I'm going to moisten this soil, and I'm going to use it even though it is full of sticks. Sifting it through that bigger strainer. I don't want to call it a strainer, but you know, that thing that my son gave me to use. That was a lot faster, but it only got out a few of the great big chunks. It actually didn't get all of the great big chunks out, but a lot of them. And there's actually quite a bit of stuff, wood chunks, left in here. But I'm going to use it anyway because I don't have the right size of strainer. If I use the one my son gave me, it will just go right through for the most part. And if I use the little kitchen strainer, it will take me forever. So I'm just going to use this. And I'll just pick out the pieces of wood when I find them, if I think they're too big. Oh. I'm going to have to start making my own potting mix. I've made it before, but not lately. If I do make some more soon, I'll show you how I do it. All right. Right there. Now I'm going to finish filling up these cubicles to the halfway mark, approximately. Take off my glove, press it down. I think when you press it down, when it's half full, it helps to keep the water from just going straight through and out the bottom too fast. I filled this one up a little bit fuller than I did the last one because I remembered that the soil will shrink down a little bit as time goes by. Okay, and now grab my popsicle stick. Oops, there's a chunk. Make about 1/4 of a foot. How about 1/4 of an inch? 1/4 of an inch hole. Wow. You know, this is really frustrating to me to have all that junk in there, all those sticks. I shouldn't call it junk. But for this, it's junk because you don't want chunky stuff in with your soil when you're trying to germinate teeny tiny seeds. You want to have better soil. You can buy seed starting mix, but it is not, it doesn't have fertilizer in it, from what I've learned. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just going to do it this way. Get a little soil on top of those, a little pat. Put those back in. And spray them in. I'm planting 2 more beans, 1 inch deep. And water them in. I've been thinking lately about grow lights, and I do have some, but they're out on my porch, which is not heated. It's a cold area. And so I do have a little area heater out there. I've used it before. I've used the grow lights before, but I had an idea this morning. I have under cabinet lighting in my kitchen, and I also have a raised dishwasher. So that area of the cabinet where the raised dishwasher is even closer to the under cabinet lighting than the other areas in my kitchen. So I'm going to put this tray of seeds that I just started in my kitchen on top of the dishwasher under my under cabinet lighting, and see if that will help them to germinate, and not only germinate, but not to become leggy, because the light's going to be quite close to them. And that's what you want when you're first germinating your seeds, to keep them from getting leggy, to keep the seedling plants from getting leggy, is you want to have the light that's above them pretty close, so they're not like growing up and just reaching and reaching and reaching for the light. If the light is right there, they just stay put. And they become a more compact seedling, which is easier to transplant out into your garden later on. So let's see how these fit. Here's my dishwasher. It's this much higher than the rest of my cabinets, countertops. I'll just move some of these things off to the sides. See how light that is. Clean it off a little bit. There's the light switch. So here it is. And turn the light on. See that? All right, I'm gonna go get that tray, put it right there. Okay, there they are. The beans, the green peppers, and there's the light, so it's under that. I'm excited about that. I hope that it works well. The different thing about that is I'm going to have to keep my under cabinet lights on all the time now, or at least a lot of the time. Maybe when I go to bed at night, I will turn them off, because I don't want to leave them on all day and all night. I have this much soil left, so I'll be able to start more seeds. Now this is only March 8th, so for us, daylight saving time starts tomorrow, which means I'm gonna have to get my sleeping schedule in order. It's hard. I wish we could just stick to one time and leave it there, but oh well, whatever. People will go to bed and get up when they want to pretty much anyway, right? Okay, so I'm going to plant more seeds sometime. However, our last average frost is May 20th, which is pretty late in the year compared to some people, but earlier compared to others. Since I planted the pepper seeds at this time, which is pretty early for me to be doing that, they can take up to 3 weeks to germinate. That will put us at March 29th. And then after they grow up and get strong enough before they go outside, that is a whole, let's see, the end of March, that's another 2 months. So what I will probably need to do is when they get big enough to be transplanted, but it's still too cold outside to do that, I will get some walls of water and put the pepper plants inside the walls of water. A wall of water, if you don't know what that is, it's kind of like a teepee. It's made of plastic all around it. It's made of cells that go from the top to the bottom. You put water in the cells and you can push them into the center, which sometimes you can get them to close up completely. Some of the water will gush out, you close them up, and then later on when it gets warm enough, you add water to the cells, it opens it up, opens the teepee up, and then they're able to grow up out of the wall of water. When they get to a certain point and warm enough, you can take that off completely. I've done that before with peppers, but mostly with tomatoes. So I'll probably end up doing that, because if these seeds germinate and grow well under my magic grow lights, then I will need to get them planted sooner than our last average frost. If that's the case, then I will use the walls of water. Now, let's go take one more look at them. By the way, those beans that I planted, they're going to be ready in about a week. I mean, sprout in about a week, because it only takes them 7 to 10 days to sprout. And so I'm gonna have beans all over the place in the house. We'll see what happens with that. Thank you for joining me today as I planted a few seeds, even though it's pretty early for me to be planting seeds. I don't know, when you have a warm day at the end of winter, it's hard not to want to start planting those seeds. So I did, but I'll be planting more seeds later on when it will be better for them and better for me. But you know, you just get that under your skin and you can't do anything but plant. That's what I did today. And remember that even when you take it slow, you can accomplish a lot. Even if it's not time yet, you can still accomplish a lot. Thank you for watching. See you on the next one.